Picking or mauling?
Picking.
Picking.
If you notice these trees are bent over, it's because a bear more than likely pulled them over. You can see some right here. Scratch marks. And bears just jump on it, pull it down, and eat what they want. A handful there?
Yep.
Is there a technique to this? Not really, eh?
Well, when I pick berries, I often roll them at an angle against their stem. And I find they break off cleaner, so you're less likely to get... Even the blueberries, I kind of pick them by rolling a lot of the time, instead of just by straight pulling on them.
So particular about the junk in the bowl?
Yeah. Yeah. And these, like, I'm always careful to not get leaves, right? Like, cherry leaves are really gross. They're full of cyanide. You can taste it if you chew them. So I don't want to get leaves in the bowl. And I don't want to get unripe berries. So on a cluster like this, I'll pick around these little orange ones. Like I picked around this one because it's got a rotten split in it, or something's bit it. So I don't pick that. But just like to be selective.
120. That's the results. Piles of pin cherries.
And not piles of blueberries, but some.
Yeah, well, we picked both at the same time, and then Jared picked those by himself before. There's probably
4 or 5?
Yeah, I'd say 4 or 5. I'd say 5.
Yeah.
5 was my guess. There's a good 5 pounds of berries there, but you know, most of it's pit, so which you can't eat.
Oh yeah. So these same ones with all the wormholes, right? We'll try see what's in them.
So it's either going to be food or bait?
Well, I don't know if any of them are good. That one has nothing.
What kind of nuts that again? We looked at it before, but...
Yeah, beaked hazel.
There's quite a few of those nuts around. There's no shortage of them, but they're all full of worms, or... There's a worm in there, no?
Well, I think it might have gone. So actually, I don't know if you saw a nut meat on one of the other ones, but it's just white like that.
Yeah, so that one's edible.
Well, this one in particular has been... Oh, there's the worm. Just a tiny little white one. You see his orangish head there, right by the tip of the pliers?
Yeah, I do, but here, I can see it in there. Just give me a second if you hold steady.
Yeah.
So is that usually bigger than that, or?
Well, I saw a really big one the other day. As big as this whole nut meat. So I thought if we got one big enough to hook, then we could fish with it.
Try to catch some perch versus the pike.
Yeah.
But the easier alternative is just to use the clams, because they don't run away and they're really abundant.
Actually, if there's a worm in here, it's a pretty small...
It's funny when you were talking about these wild edibles. Like, sure, these nuts are edible, right?
Yep.
But try to find one before every other animal in the forest finds it and ruins it on you. That's kind of the point, right?
Yeah, you gotta get them just at the right time, right? There's the worm. What? He's right here.
Is that a good one, or one you could fish with?
No, it's too small.
Can you eat the nuts yet?
Yeah, do you want to try one?
Yeah.
Oh, here's one we can fish with. That's big enough to hook. I don't know if we'll want to bother. There's only one, right? We have to carry it all the way back to our fishing spot.
Well, you could eat it.
The worm?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's another one big enough to fish with. They look just like the ones you get in acorns. Here's, I'll eat this nut meat. It's only got a little bit of worm dirt on it. There, now it's got no worm dirt on it. Crunchy and tasty. Your turn.
A little white nut with probably lots of fat in it.
Yeah.
They are crunchy and essentially flavorless. I don't taste anything.
No?
Should I?
I don't know, they're a little bit sweet and nutty flavored. There's another big worm. Catch a perch with that, eh?
For
They're a little bit small, but
For sure you could catch a fish
Maybe
with it. The camera's probably a little bit deceptive, but as far as size go, they're not big.
here's my pinky nail.
Yeah, about the size of a pinky nail. Half, quarter, even. Pretty small worms, but I'm sure you could fry them up and eat them too.
Yep.
As we had plenty of time to armchair quarterback our own performance during the challenge, we had imagined plenty of other ways to conduct future seasons of the experiment. We imagined bringing in wild edibles stored, cured, and prepared as a crutch to be added to anything we collected during the actual challenge. Would this be fair? One of the more obvious solutions to master the challenge was to bring in fat in some form. While butter or olive oil would make a palatable choice, we also imagined that bringing in animal fat such as bear fat or moose fat would make a natural fit. Adding 30% of our daily requirements as fat would surely have changed our fate and made our meals more rich and made it possible to consume enough daily calories to satisfy our needs. This is something we will consider moving forward. Naturally, another solution is to run the challenge at a time when animals are in season and taking fats from them is legal. Then again, what we've learned from this pilot show has given us an inside look at the elements of survival that are most important, and we might not need to supplement our efforts, just redirect them. While we haven't decided anything for certain, we're both keenly interested in participating in future wilderness living challenges. While we are not quite through with this season just yet, I would like to take the time to ask the viewers for their support. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. Leave us some positive words and please give the videos a thumbs up. If you enjoy this series, also consider sharing it with others. We would greatly appreciate this. As we are not paid and the series costs us our time and energy, it is a great way to compensate us. Spending 5 days starving isn't exactly what most call a vacation. Likes and shares go a long way to keep us motivated. Okay, we're back at our main lake and just show off our loot for today. So we have a, what size is this, 500 ml berry container Jeremy picked, and an extra, we figured that's about 1 kilogram worth of berries there.
Yep. Except for the ones that are spilled.
Spilled. The choke cherries are from before. We didn't pick any more because we just can't eat them. They're not palatable enough.
Almost 1 kilogram of blueberries here, and then half a kilo of mixed bunchberries blueberries.
Nice. We're just, if you're curious, we're covering the labels because we don't want to advertise for somebody who doesn't want ads. And then the mother load of pin cherries, a lot more easier to eat than the choke cherries. So we've abandoned the choke cherries. We might cook these down over the fire and see if we can make them more palatable in quantity. We'll eat some of these pin cherries probably in the canoe, at least I will, because we're out of fish now, and now we have to switch modes from gathering to hunting. Fishing.
Going from fish surplus to berry surplus.
Yeah, I mean we're not in anywhere in between, right? And I don't know, did I say the weight of this? That's about 5 pounds, so it's not an insignificant amount of berries or cherries. And so I don't know, we ate a liter of that, I ate a liter of that, you ate a liter of that, and we had fish breakfast, that was it. And what else? I had one fish for lunch that I couldn't finish for breakfast, and that's it. Like, we're going on what we had for breakfast as far as fish goes. Look at this guy.
They're still good.
We're hungry.
Waste not, want not.
Yeah, no, we're hungry.
All right.
So yeah, unless you have anything else to add.
No, fishing time.
So we have to fish now. Now we have to catch enough for dinner and breakfast.
That's
Hopefully.
our goal.
That's our goal right now.
Yeah.
And what's the time we got?
Right now,
Yeah.
it's 3:30.
So we should be able to do it. It's just a matter of energy wise. What do I got there?
Grass.
You know, nothing in the beard. It's all
Yeah.
There's
Fish.
some in the beard.
Fish and berries.
Fish and berries. Oh, there's got to be berries in there with my hands, with my nails, like.
Yeah. All right.
And we should, while we're doing this, since we're doing it, we have a plan to check out at 2. Are you going to check out too?
Yep.
Okay, so we're doing 5 days. My plan is to keep some berries for the middle of the night, because since I've done this, I've woken up and it's still pitch black and my stomach's screaming, and it usually takes me an hour or 2 before I want to fall back asleep. So I'm going to keep some berries, and then when I wake up, I'm going to take a pee. I'm going to slam the berries in, and hopefully that makes me fall back asleep right away. And tomorrow we're going to stay here till 2, and we're hopefully going to have some kind of celebration dinner, which is going to be rice and butter. I have a kielbasa. Jeremy has
Smoked oysters.
And we have lots of nuts. So that's what we're going to look forward to for the next few hours. And then we are going to set our lines tonight, hopefully catch a bullhead, because we had our lines stripped. So I rigged them up more properly today. Jeremy didn't leave much of a line slack. And we'll collect some clams for dinner and some snails
to purge for tomorrow.
Right, considering if we have enough time. And we'll make sure we rig up properly with the bullhead, because something did strip every single line. So Jeremy thought maybe a crayfish, but we haven't gotten anything off the traps, and I'll check the traps next to see if there's anything in them, but we haven't caught any minnows or nothing, which is
weird
at best.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'll check those now, and we got some work to do before we get out in the boat. Oh. But look at that lobster I got.
Oh, I didn't see him in there. Oh, on top. That's huge, eh?
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna let go.
Yeah.
No, he's not gonna let go.
That guy he's bigger than the other 3 that we ate together. That's good. Well, you know that trap works on big size crayfish.
What are you gonna try?
Well, I think this one's gonna dive too deep.
Yeah, I agree. It's got too big of a lip.
Too much lip.
For this lake.
Too lippy. Maybe I'll try this one here. It looks a little bit delicious.
Just wanted to video this lure in case I lose it.
Yeah. And it's never seen again.
It's a vintage. See how big that blade is. Meps 4. It says on that side. Aglia long, made in France. If you can read that or not, but that's what it says. Aglia long, made in France.
You can still get Meps Aglia.
Meps 4?
I don't know.
But this has been a pretty sweet lure.
Yeah.
It's got all beads and wicked action off of it. It'd be great for pike and bass, and I don't know what else. Maybe even a big brookie would smash that. It's got some real action on it.
Chumming the waters.
I'm trying to keep my calories up.
Yeah. How many did you bring with you?
Maybe not enough, actually.
Oh, yeah?
I maybe got choke cherry quantity. I got this much, which may not be enough, but
Well, you only have the last couple hours.
yeah, because we're gonna catch a couple hours of pike in a couple hours.
Yep.
Not gonna get skunked or anything, right?
Oh, I hope not.
It's gonna be a long night. My stomach's burning.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Feels good when I give it a shot of juice though from the pin cherries. It stops talking to me for a second. The trick to eating pin cherries is chew lightly, then keep your head forward so you don't swallow the seeds, suck the juice back, and when you get to the end, near the end, and take your tongue and smash it on the roof of your mouth and do the same thing and suck back, but keep your head forward or you'll swallow seeds. And keep doing that until there's all seeds and no juice or mush, and then spit out the seeds. And if you're lucky, you have someone paddle for you. So one pike in the net just now, and then we got another little one here. Jerry's having fun with his bird's nest.
Yep. So much fun.
Good times. That's a decent pike. 2 more, 3 more maybe. 2 or 3 more, we have enough for breakfast.
Yeah.
And we don't have to fish again. Yeah, a couple more. Alright, I gotta deal with this. It's different when you fish for your food than when you fish for fun.
Might be the muscliest lake I've ever seen.
Is for dinner or breakfast?
I don't know, we can let them purge overnight. We could have a big mollusk breakfast, eh? We could have snails and clams.
Yeah. Sounds good.
And we'll use some for bait. See if we can turn them into a bullhead catfish. Or a few.
Show her a catch for now.
Pike, 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 and pike.
It's very, very diverse.
How many of those did I catch?
None.
None. Good thing I'm pulling my weight in clams then, eh?
That's right.
And snails.
You might have shot the moose though if you had a gun and a permit.
Yeah. It was awesome to see, eh?
Okay. Nobody wants to see you watch or collect mussels or clams.
You don't think so?
Well, maybe somebody does, but
Yeah, just like a 15-minute piece all by itself.
so for these clams here, because they live in the sand, when they close up, they fill up with sand, and then when you cook them, basically what happens is they spit out the sand, and then you get sand all in your teeth. So the trick is to help get rid of some of that is to fill up a pail with water I'm not going to show you this whole thing, but you fill up a pail of water and then you rinse them off pretty good and then dump them in, and then they're going to open and close, you know, overnight, or as long as you can afford to leave them there. And hopefully a lot of the dirt that would ordinarily get into your food ends up on the bottom of here, and you don't get it all in your teeth, because it's really off-putting to be eating and having grit against your teeth. I just thought I missed record. I hit record. All right. You know, filming this is getting harder and harder. For lunch, I had that piece of fish. That was it. And I haven't eaten, well, I ate a kilogram of blueberries, a pile of pin cherries today. That's it. So anyway, it's probably a good idea to wash these as much as possible, just to get some of the grit off the outside of them. And there'll be some sand on the outside of them as well, but you don't really want that in your water when you're cooking them. You're still going to get some sand and grit, but it's better than not purging them. You're guaranteed to get grit. They close up real quick, and when they do that, they suck that dirt in. So anyway, we'll probably save these for breakfast anyway. We may eat these little snails, but they had some grit in them too, so we may end up letting them all sit and then eating them all for breakfast instead of eating fish again, or with our fish. Have a little bit more variety. These are pretty easy to collect. Obviously, they don't move fast, but there's not a heck of a lot of meat. By the time you've cooked it, you're left with about a thumbnail worth of meat or so, and without any flavor, just pretty rubbery. So we haven't really come across anything that's really great to eat yet. We're just really missing the flavorings, so that's definitely one of the harder parts. I'm sure those moose chew on the trip so far would have offered some really great animal fat, which we could have kept around for flavoring just about everything we ate. But they are out of season, and we'd still have to get one, so we'd have to decide if we're using a rifle or we're doing it the old-fashioned way with bows and arrows, in which case it would be a lot more difficult and might take, you know, months. This one's floating. I don't want it to float. So anyway, maybe you have some better ideas, or maybe you think we should just be eating just pots of these every day. But the lean protein is not doing it. It just requires far too much volume. It's just it's not humanly possible to sit there and eat lean protein all day. So maybe you guys have some suggestions, but it pretty much confirms what we had in mind, and it does take a lot of work to catch those fish and process them down. We haven't really stopped. We had a rinse off at the lake. That's the only time we haven't been doing work today. We spent time collecting berries, walking to collect berries, eating. We ate the berries. We sat down for a second, ate berries, went to the beach to clean up, walked back, and immediately went fishing. Now we're coming back, we're processing our food here. Jeremy's up filleting the pike. Then we have to make a fire, build up enough ash to the point where we can cook the pike. Then we have to sit down and eat the pike, eat the berries. Then we have to set up our tents again before nightfall, and the sun is maybe 2 hours from setting. And we eat until 9 or 10 at night, sometimes later, sometimes 11. Just eating, mashing that lean protein into our bodies. And then we go to bed. And we've done this for 4 days now, when we have till 2 o'clock tomorrow. And then we've done our 5 days. And Jeremy's wondering if I want to go a little bit longer, but I'm done. I think he can maybe afford to go one more day if possible, but it's not a guarantee. So, but he seems to be having fun. So, and he's losing weight, which I mean, he's not trying to do, but it's just ending up to be that way. It's a funny angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you get the wasp in there?
Oh yeah.
Feasting. Jerk.
It's a thief. So, pike, skin on, pin cherries, full of seeds.
Skin on.
Skin on. Bunch berries and blueberries mix. Choke cherries. Straight blueberries my pick. Straight blueberries Jeremy pick, nice and clean, no leaves. And then another liter. So we have 1 liter for me, 1 liter for Jer, another liter for Jer, or not a liter, but 500 or something like that. Liter or so of mixed up choke cherries that you can't eat because they're disgusting, and 5 pounds of pin cherries, and a pike. There you go. So it's a berries and pike meal. We are still missing our carbohydrates.
Yeah.
We've gone completely paleo.
One more back strap there. Alright, so we have our choke cherries here that we're not able to eat in quantity. I tried to eat a bunch of them this afternoon and I couldn't, even by rinsing my mouth out with pin cherries in between, I just couldn't eat any more of them. So we're going to try and cook them down into something a little more palatable. So we'll see if the bitterness leaves and if the sugars kind of come out. I guess we're not going to worry about a few stems, eh?
Well, it's going to be full of pits anyway.
How many of these do we want to sacrifice for our experiment?
All of them.
Seeing as how we're not going to eat any of them otherwise.
We are not going to eat any of them otherwise. You could toss a few aside. It might be a little high, but it'll render down a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, it
right?
will, I think. Oops. So we'll pick some stems out. We'll throw some water in the bottom.
So after we do this, we're going to pit it and then add the equivalent amount of sugar to it, right?
Yeah.
And make a jam?
Yeah.
Or a syrup? And we're going to put that on our fish, right?
We could have if we'd brought the right stuff.
Maple syrup? You collected maple syrup. Tell me you collected maple syrup in the spring and you kept it all this time, right?
I did, yeah. I've got all kinds of maple sugar.
You've been out here since spring?
Well, not here. I do have maple syrup that I made, that my students made.
Well, it doesn't count for this challenge.
No?
It's only what you collect while you're here.
Only while we're here, eh? All right.
That's right. Okay, so you got a little bit of water. You're gonna simmer with the lid off or on?
On.
On, and then what's the process after that? Or we'll just check back in?
Check back in.
All
Yeah,
right.
we'll just wait a little bit, and then we'll do a taste test.
The nightly ritual. The only thing that's different is Jerry's on the left and I'm on the right. Same old Pike. Cheers.
Cheers.
To Pike.
Yeah. I think I'm growing pretty fond of pike.
I'm going crazy. I want to say expletive, but I'm not going to. I say Jeremy's effing crazy because we're just talking about the fact that he's fine. I'm like, maybe this series will turn out well and we can raise some money to do it more extensively and starve ourselves for a longer period of time. And what'd you say?
I'm in. Sounds like fun. Looks good, eh?
It smells good. What are you gonna do with it? Eat it?
It cools down enough, yeah. Give it a little taste test. It's like a whole other animal. You should try that out. You don't have your spoon handy, eh?
It's somewhere. Is it better?
Tastes more like a dessert than a trial.
It's so sweet.
It's still got a bit of the bitter. There's that mouse again, but it doesn't have the same like puckering power.
Try to find a way to get the pits out.
The skins are not great. I think it would be more like if you squeezed all the juice out of it, it would be an awesome drink. We'll bring a jelly bag next time. I ran out of clean socks.
Well, I was thinking about a shirt, but I don't know if I want to sacrifice a shirt. It smells good. My verdict about the choke cherries that are cooked is that it's not good. Good once you start, but then when you get to the skins, it's just bitter and sour again. So hard to get stuff down in any quantity to make a difference. Thankfully the pin cherries are still edible. It's hard to get the volume. So we get dessert today. I have a liter of blueberries, and as mentioned earlier, I'm going to not eat all of them in case I wake up in the middle of the night, as I have been doing almost every single night, with a fire burning in my belly. And if I do, I'll eat a bunch of blueberries, and hopefully that's going to put me back to sleep. And I'll satisfy my body that it has enough nutrients to not hustle out of bed and go shoot a moose in prime time, like 5 a.m., which is probably how my body's designed. If it's hungry, it should not be sleeping, it should be pursuing animals. So I'm going to trick my body tomorrow morning to make it sleep in. So I'm not going to eat a kilogram of blueberries tonight. But I could, most likely.
Yeah.
So as far as overall calories today, we had fish for breakfast. I ate as much as I could.
The last of our milkweed for breakfast.
I don't even remember.
It's all on tape.
Yeah, you guys know. Yeah, we had milkweed. I think we had just a handful, not very many. For lunch, I only had that piece of fish that I couldn't eat for breakfast. You had nothing.
For lunch?
I don't think
Well, I ate a kilogram of blueberries, my first pot full.
you're right. Okay, so
And
you had
did too.
you had a kilo, and I had yeah, that's right. I had a kilogram of blueberries for lunch, plus that little piece of fish, and then pin cherries all day, choke cherries intermittently, and bunch berries. We ate a pile of bunch berries, right?
Yeah. We snacked a lot of bunch berries and pin cherries while we were picking other things.
So volume-wise, pretty heavy day, but if you compare it to a modern diet, it's really not that much, right? Well, we'll see. The way out tomorrow is going to tell us everything.
I think it's just less calorie dense than a modern diet. The volume's pretty high.
Well, the volume is to make up for the low calories, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you just have to eat so much more of lean protein than you would if you ate bacon. Like how many pieces of bacon you have to eat for breakfast versus Pike?
I never thought about bacon this whole trip until just now.
Take that. So I don't know if you can you see me or no?
Yep.
I'm just getting my container here of night rations, so if I wake up at stupid o'clock again because my stomach's killing me and I want to eat a chocolate bar and quit, I'm hoping that this will give me a full belly or the feeling of a full belly and I can just go back to sleep. But my picking, as we saw, is pretty rough, so I don't want to be eating like pine needles and stuff like that. So get this all ready, and then I'll have a little container like that, and I'll just chuck that in the tent with me, and then I can down that and go back to bed, hopefully. That's in theory, so we'll see in practice how it turns out.
3 meals a day and a midnight snack.
That's exactly right.
You're living large out here.
I'm a growing boy.